moving them. And I kind of felt like it was nice, but that was great.
The dynamics I would have given you for the first ballad would have been like all the same. Because there was a little bit of build, but for the most part it was like, a ballad really needs to show some up and down and a little bit more, moving someplace other than what you were doing. It was technically good, but one of the reasons we put the dynamic part of the scoring in about 3 or 4 years ago, because I realized that there was no place to judge if you were bored or not. But I didn't really see any justification for putting down in the judges after intonation, diction, rhythm, I'm bored. So we put dynamics in because that can be volume dynamics, also emotional dynamics and expression. So my dynamic rating for that ballad would have been, because I didn't really feel it going anywhere. Now obviously it's got a lot more melody than Ain't Too Proud to Beg, but Ain't Too Proud to Beg was more fun. And sometimes the judges just want to actually have a little fun, as long as the audience. So it ended up being a good choice for you. Plus it forced you to move a little bit. But yeah, don't be afraid of the front of the stage. Don't back up from the audience, go forward. All right, thank you very much.
It's so amazing. Every time I see you, I'm alive. You're all I've got. You lift me up. The sun and the moonlight. All my dreams are in your eyes. And
we have a few more minutes. Are there any questions from the audience? Can we bring the spots down a little bit now? I'm not performing, so. Yes, over here.
I'm curious how you feel about singers doing their own compositions for auditions.
First of all, we have a pretty extensive songwriting department at school, and there are a lot of concerts that are primarily for singers and songwriters. And so there are auditions for those particular shows as well. As far as this particular show that I work with, we do original material every once in a while. What happens is that if they come in with original song, we are judging their songwriting ability as well as their vocal ability. The show tends to work more as a performer of cover material just because they're working on all aspects of stage performance. Mic technique and moving on the stage and their sound. But if the best song for them is an original, then we will pick that. As a matter of fact, I think there's probably going to be at least one original song we're going to be doing in this semester's show.
Yeah.
That's because when we listened to it along with all of the other material he submitted, it was a great song and it worked great for his voice. But you get judged on your songwriting ability as well as your vocal ability. So you have a great voice and a crappy song, you don't get it.
Students get some constructive feedback though, if they're chosen or not.
After the auditions, they have the ability to come and look at the score sheets, and they can even watch themselves on video. We video all the auditions, and we encourage them to come and watch themselves. A lot of them don't, because the idea of watching themselves on a TV screen is horrifying to them.
Yeah.
But it's the best way for them to learn. What are the types of things they can pick up when they see themselves on the computer screen? What are the things you think they notice most?
Well, they always, focus on the negative first, and I try to tell, because I teach a lot of ensembles here as well, and voice lessons, and at midterms and finals, I make it a point to videotape all the students' performances. And so, it's good to be objective, because you may watch yourself and see things that you love that you do. So it's a learning tool. And you know, you're going to get more comfortable the more that you watch yourself, and I think it's wonderful. But the first thing that they do is they're always, you know, not wanting to watch. They're afraid to see what they do. And I often say to them, well, what do athletes do after a game? They watch themselves, right? To see what they did wrong, to see what they can improve. So, you know, there's always a fear factor that goes with that, and I really try to emphasize that it's not about that. It's about discovering who you are and what you do when you're on stage and what your audience is seeing and hearing.
Plus, we could tell them until we're blue in the face, when you perform, you like stick your hand behind your back, and they don't believe us until they actually see themselves on tape and see that their hand is doing something really bizarre. Yes?
How often do you have instrumentalists coming to the school that don't realize that they have an amazing singing ability that just doesn't get uncovered until they've been here for a while?
I would say it certainly does happen. We've started to offer more and more classes for players who want to sing and play at the same time. So that's a need that I think we've addressed in the last like 7 or 8 years. We have some ensembles that deal with that. And a lot of us who teach ensembles with rhythm section players and vocalists will often ask our rhythm section players, hey, do any of you guys sing background vocals or lead vocals? And if they do, we'll try to encourage them to get on a microphone at least a couple times during the course of the semester. A lot of times they'll sing for fun, thinking that, you know, it's just a goof. But we tell every single drummer, bass player, guitar player, piano player, horn player, if you sing, you're going to increase your odds of getting a gig a lot more than someone who doesn't even want to open up their mouth. So we encourage instrumentalists all over the school to sing.
And you know, there's just in my roster this year, I have 30 private students, and I have 3 students that are not vocal majors, they're not voice majors. So it's great. So if you have a child that plays and sings and they want to take a voice lesson, they certainly can do that.
One of the best singers we've ever had doing Singer Showcase was a trombone major. So it certainly is in there. We have time for one more. Yes?
Do you teach them what they should be doing with their body on stage? Like movement, like standing there?
I do a little bit of that, but not too much, because if I try to move on stage, I pretty much knock things over. But
I do.
People who are more better at it than I am will certainly, talk about it. I will notice things about, I can definitely say you shouldn't be doing that, and we have a lot of great people in the voice department and the ensemble department who are very good at stage movement and can offer suggestions. We also have a dance and movement teacher here at school who started in the last couple of years, who also works with them on choreography and stage movement as well. So yeah, it's an up and coming part of Berkeley that we're trying to expand upon a little bit more as time goes on.
I just want to interject too, a lot of our ensemble rooms in the voice department have mirrors. And we have mirrors in there so that they can see what they're doing. And of course they don't want to look, but I make them look.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank all of you for coming over to